The day Thomas Bennett's will was read, Emily Bennett walked into Whitmore and Associates believing she had already prepared herself for disappointment. She knew her father had always been fair. She knew he loved all three of his children equally. And she knew that whatever happened inside that conference room, it would simply be the final step in saying goodbye to the man who had spent his life building the Bennett family from nothing. But she was wrong. Nothing about that morning unfolded the way she imagined. The conference room felt unusually cold, despite the warm summer sunlight pouring through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Every chair had already been arranged before the family arrived. Ryan Bennett sat confidently near the head of the table. His wife, Laura Bennett, sat beside him, fingers wrapped neatly around an expensive leather notebook she hadn't opened once. Across from them sat Emily. Alone. She wasn't thinking about money. She wasn't even thinking about the company. She kept staring at the empty chair where Henry Whitmore had always insisted Thomas Bennett sat whenever business meetings were held. That chair remained empty now, for the first time in 40 years. Henry Whitmore entered exactly at 10 o'clock. The 70-year-old attorney carried 2 leather folders beneath his arm. One was thick. The other was unusually thin. Emily barely noticed. At the time, it meant nothing. Henry adjusted his glasses before looking around the room. "Before we begin," he said quietly, "I'd like to express my deepest condolences. Thomas Bennett wasn't only my client, he was my friend." Nobody spoke. Ryan broke the silence first. "Dad was always very organized," he said. "He would have wanted us to move forward." Emily nodded without looking at him. She agreed. Her father hated unnecessary delays. Henry opened the larger folder. "Under the instructions left by Thomas Bennett, I will now read his last will and testament." The room became completely silent. Emily folded her hands together beneath the table. She wasn't nervous. She simply wanted it to be over. Henry began reading. "The Bennett family home. To Ryan Bennett. The manufacturing company. To Ryan Bennett. Investment accounts. To Ryan Bennett. Commercial properties. To Ryan Bennett. Luxury vehicles. To Ryan Bennett." Laura's lips curled into the smallest smile. Ryan remained perfectly still. Emily waited. Surely there was more. Surely her father hadn't forgotten her. Henry continued reading. "Additional business shares. To Ryan Bennett. Board voting rights. To Ryan Bennett. Final executive authority. To Ryan Bennett." Then, he closed the document. Emily frowned. She waited. Nothing. Her name had never been mentioned. Not once. The silence inside the room suddenly felt louder than any argument. Ryan slowly leaned back in his chair. "I'll do everything Dad would have wanted," he said softly. Emily couldn't even answer. Not because she wanted money. Because she couldn't understand. Just 3 weeks earlier, she had been the one sitting beside Thomas Bennett's hospital bed every single evening. She was the one who held his hand when chemotherapy became unbearable. She was the one who missed work to drive him to appointments. She was the one who stayed after everyone else had gone home. Her father had squeezed her hand only 2 nights before he died. "I'll always take care of you," he'd whispered. Those words echoed inside her mind now. Had she imagined them? Had illness changed his decisions? Or had something happened that nobody else knew? Henry Whitmore quietly gathered the papers. That concludes the reading of Mr. Bennett's last will. Ryan stood first. Laura followed. Emily remained seated. She wasn't angry. She wasn't crying. She simply felt empty. Then something happened. Henry didn't leave. Instead, he looked directly at Emily. "Miss Bennett," his voice had changed. "I need you to remain seated." Ryan stopped walking. "What is it?" he asked. Henry slowly placed the first folder aside. Then, he reached for the second. The thinner one. The one nobody had paid attention to. "This document," Henry said calmly, Was delivered to my office 6 days before Thomas Bennett passed away. Ryan frowned. What document? Henry looked directly into his eyes. A second will. The room froze. Laura blinked twice. Emily felt her heartbeat quicken. Ryan laughed awkwardly. That's impossible. Henry never smiled. It wasn't impossible. It was legal. And Thomas Bennett gave very specific instructions. Emily could barely breathe. Henry rested his hand on the unopened folder. He instructed me that this document could only be opened if certain events happened after his death. Ryan's confidence disappeared. What events? Henry paused. His next sentence changed everything. Thomas Bennett believed someone close to him could not be trusted. Silence. No one moved. No one spoke. Henry continued. He instructed me to observe the family's behavior for 14 days after his funeral. Emily looked from Henry to Ryan and back again. Her brother's face had changed. For the first time that morning, he looked genuinely afraid.